Hey everybody, we're on Maiden Lane and Broadway, the corner of, you can see this little plaque here. I don't know if I can zoom in. It says Broadway and Maiden Lane about 1880 to 1828. At the time we're talking about here now, this was sort of the very posh, Tony, downtown Tiffany's it was called, or at least for this spot, which is 176 Broadway. And this was the jewelry store and I guess jewelers, watchmaker of William Barthman's, and he was considered actually the downtown Tiffany's. This is how the area got its name. And he was jeweler to people like English actress Lily Langtry, the Who song Lily, Pictures of Lily. The song is actually about her, but you're following me, right? And the Morgans were his patrons and so forth. And he had a famous store which is, or would have been, right here. Now, Barthman's is actually still in business, but they're not on this corner anymore. And they moved actually about 3 years ago. Probably something to do with, let me through, this is American television. Probably something to do with New York real estate, which is always a complicated issue. Now, in an era of advertising, and in 1884, advertising was the same way it is today. You wanted something novel. You wanted something to take people's breath away or to talk about. And what people used to do is they would put up big clocks. I don't know if you can see it, but there's still a clock down actually on Trinity Church. But a clock on a church is sort of normative. There are a lot of big clocks that would fit out on the street, like where this post is here. There's a lot of those all over New York, or clocks that stick out of the sides of buildings. But Barthman wanted to do something much different. So he had his employee, Frank Halm, create a new type of clock. Now, it was an unusual clock in that it didn't go round. It was folding plates, and the plates would unfold every hour and show you the time, and it was lit up with an electric light bulb. And of course, this is new at the time. And people would walk by the corner and they would say, "Oh my Lord, look at this novelty." Now that ran from 1884 to about 1913 when Frank Halm dies. Now, they didn't tell everybody who worked at Barthman's how the clock worked, and only Barthman himself and Frank Halm could fix it. So by 1913, no one could actually fix the Barthman's clock. So Barthman's, this famous jeweler, like I said, still operating today, they had to cover up the clock, which was sort of a shame to them, because in 1946, on this street corner, right here on Maiden Lane, they figured 50,000 people between 11 a.m. and 2 p.m. walked over the clock. I'm getting ahead of myself, but walked by the clock. And for about 5 years, there was just a piece of cardboard, and no one liked that. So eventually, they decided they would fix the clock. So instead of a big Baroque steel clock, what Barthman and Halms decided they would do, they would put the clock in the ground, as you can see. William Barthman's, East Southwest, 1884. This is obviously pretty worn down. They replaced it with an ordinary analog watch or clock. So this was much different. So this would have had the folding plates in it, and it would have been lit up, and New Yorkers, as they passed over it, pardon me, in their deep inner monologues, would have looked down and they would have seen the time. And it wouldn't have been broadcasted over the streets the way a stand-up clock or a building clock was. You would have had to been looking down, or you would have seen the light coming up from the ground, and you would have noticed, oh my Lord, that's Barthman's and his crazy cool electric clock. This is very easy to miss, by the way, because it's on the corner of Maiden Lane. Also, still crooked, by the way. And it's not running properly now. I don't think they fixed it in a while. Barthman's is still responsible for it, but given the way the world is now, it's fine, it's not running. It's nice that it's still there, though. So we'll see you here soon on 1 Minute Walking Tours. Everyone, please stay safe.